What do you think, Bird? I think even I could look good in this baby.
I think this car could make you look good. Hey, welcome to Two Guys Garage. We've got a 72 Chevelle. We got a lot of cool upgrades. We've got a monster transmission from the guys at Monster Transmission. Gonna add an overdrive, throw a differential in this thing. A few other cool tricks.
All kinds of tips, tricks, stuff. Stay tuned. You know my favorite thing on these 70s muscle cars?
What's that?
You know that foot-shaped gas pedal, the chrome one you used
The
to get?
bear or whatever, the barefoot.
Yeah. Now we got a 72 Chevelle. The normal deal on here, we've upgraded the carb, we've upgraded the engine, we've upgraded the exhaust. Sounds better, it brakes better, everything's there. But all of a sudden, the next one to go is the transmission.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna update the transmission in this Chevelle, and we're gonna do it in two ways. We're gonna give it a whole lot more power and torque capability, so it's stout. We're gonna give it a whole lot more functionality with the car.
The thing is, these came with a turbo 350, so it's got 3 gears. Well, what we want to do is switch it out to a more modern transmission like this 700 R4. 700 R4 is going to have 4 gears, so now you're going to get a better low, you're going to get a better high, you're going to get a lot more horsepower capability. Really, just all in all, you're going to really modernize a car like this.
Absolutely. That taller first gear is going to give you better acceleration. Don't even have to swap out the rear end. And that overdrive is going to keep you from screaming down the highway when you're only doing like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, you get a muscle car like this, stock, 65, oh, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we'll be able to take it down by like 30% down to, you know, really lower the RPM a lot, and it's so much more comfortable to drive.
Which is great when you're cruising, a lot better fuel economy. We're going to have performance on the starts too. So why don't you get the thing up on the lift?
Okay.
I'll start getting the parts together. Let's get this thing installed. All right, we got the drive shaft out. We're just gonna wiggle this trans cross member out from under here a little bit. Notice we got a trans jack. We're gonna let it down just a little bit. Throw the hook over the side, strap it down, be nice and safe. We got last 2 bolts on that belt housing. This thing's ready to drop on down. So let me get this thing wiggled here, Brian. There we go. Let me let this down just a little bit. All right, I got that bolt. Let this down.
About ready?
Let's see if we can't wiggle this thing back. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay,
Nice and gooey.
ready to go down?
Yeah,
Watch the tail shaft.
yeah. Move that back a little bit more. And we'll make sure we're not catching anything like headers, cables,
All
vacuum lines.
Now we're gonna slide backwards a little bit.
Yep,
Down.
there we go.
More.
Yep.
Lines out of the way.
And do this slow. Drop everything down slow. Hang on. Because you'll always have something snagging on something.
We had a kickdown cable that was up top. We got that off and fished it through. We got our lines off. We got our drive shaft out, so we unbolted that and slid it. And what else? Let's see, we had our shifter was right here, so our bolts around the case. That was about it.
It's a good, dirty, nasty job, but it's going to be totally worth it. We're out there banging gears and cruising.
Exactly. All right, we're off to the next phase.
Yeah, let's get the other one set up, and we're ready to push it back up in here.
All right, here's our 2 transmissions. Now you see one hand? Ooh, nice new clean.
Clean, shiny.
See that old turbo 350? Nice and dirty, that's why that glove is there. Now, when you look at the difference of the two, you may wonder, okay, what do I have in my car? Well, you can research it, but an easy way to do it too, look and see how many pan bolts you have, look at the shape, and you can look on Monster's website, and they've got a diagram of all that stuff, as well as a lot of other great information.
Yeah, well, one thing nice about this kit is it includes just about everything. Since we're doing a conversion, a lot of things are changing. It's not just a direct bolt and replacement, but it is now because they give you all sorts of stuff. One area that's going to change is the cross member. This transmission's longer than that one, so we're going to have to move the cross member back. But GM was great on this vehicle. They've got multiple holes along the frame rails, so this one's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah, that's lucky. All we have to do is move it back a couple of notches, put it in another factory hole, because they came with other transmissions. You could get a turbo 350 or a turbo 400 in this thing, and depending on the length, actually, if you look at the tail shaft, look at the mount. There's one mount here, and there's another mount on the back side of that tail shaft. and depending on what you had in your original car is going to determine where you put your cross member. Now on our original, you can see that ours is right in that location. So.
Yeah, if only they had an adjustable drive shaft, this would be a piece of cake.
Right. Now if you look down the shifter, we're also going to have a problem in that area, and they've got a little kit for that. There's a couple of grommets, and you're going to bolt in. Now the couple of issues, obviously, we're going from 3 gears to 4 gears. And what that's going to do, it's going to change the gait of our shifter. So if you look at this, that's all going to change. You bolt it in, now you're going to have overdrive, 3, 2, 1, and look at the shifter. Look at this little plate. How cool is that? You put that into your original shifter, it looks just like the factory. You'd never even know.
And now you got a D.
Yeah.
You never had a D before, now you got a D. Well, the other thing they give you that changes between the 350 and the 700 R4 is, it used to be vacuum modulated for shifts, a kickdown cable that all got integrated into a TV cable. So TV cable comes with it. We'll show you how to adjust it. We're going to mount it on before it goes up into the car. So a couple of these things will bolt on, and we're going to actually get it in the car and start getting it bolted together.
Okay, I think that's about it. We're ready to go. We're going to put this in, but right now we got to take a break, so stay tuned.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by Satisfied Brake Products, North America's leading independent manufacturer of friction technologies. Look to Satisfied for all of your stopping needs.
Welcome back. All right, now tell your significant other that the lawn is just going to have to wait because we got a torque converter installed to go here.
Now, if you're going to install your torque converter, a couple of tips. One, make sure you lubricate the seals. Don't run them dry. Get a little transmission fluid's fine. Put it on the seals, nice there. And also put it on the torque converter itself. Get a good lubrication on there. Now the other thing to notice is these little detents here, these drive engagement pieces, they're going to locate inside in the pump. Now you got 2 engagements. One's the input shaft, the other is these drive engagements here for that pump. So when you put the torque converter in, spin it a few times, make sure you feel a double clunk, maybe spin it twice, make sure it's bottomed out. Otherwise, when you go to bolt this thing together to the engine, this thing isn't far enough engaged, you're going to smash and destroy that front pump, might even break an ear off this transmission. So
right,
let's see if we can get this thing up. Yeah.
Now be really careful. You spent good money on a transmission and a torque converter. There is not a hammer involved with this.
No hammers.
And be careful with these. You don't want them to fall on your leg.
Go.
And going in. Let me hold it there. There.
Double clunk. So now we're fully engaged. We're ready to go. There's a little bit of fluid in there as well. So this guy's got at least a start. We'll add more later as we go.
Sure.
So basically, I think we're ready to start jacking this thing up, hooking up some of our peripherals, and bolt it in.
Why don't you go ahead and pump over there. Now I'm going to show you on the cross member. Now we've moved it back out of the way. That way we can push this in, and it's longer than the old one, so you need to really kind of get it out of your way. These are the holes we were talking about for the cross member. That gives you a lot of locations. Factories do that so they can do different transmissions. Makes it easy for us because we can just go ahead and install another transmission in as well. Now right here, this is your Speedo cable. It looks the same as they have for many years. That plugs in the same as before. Now this is your shift cable. Cool thing is we're using the original shifter, just like we talked about with the new OD plate. And it's gonna go right into this little dude. Click into there, piece of cake. And we got our TV cable, which is kind of tucked in over here. So pretty much this is a nice, easy install. Now before we put it in, we're gonna make sure that we go ahead, we're gonna get our lines put into the opposite side. Here they are kind of sticking out. So we're gonna put our lines on. We're gonna go ahead and put our dipstick in. And we're also gonna put our, let's see, we have one more. What's the other one?
TV cable.
Got to put the TV cable in. So we put those 3 in. That way they're already onto the transmission. So when we jack it up, it's going to be a lot easier to locate ahead of time.
Yeah, we can run the final bolts down. Nice thing about the Monster kit, like Brian says, it comes with everything, but even on top of that, they can tailor it. They build it basically to your specifications. So depending on what vehicle you're running, what weight it is, what gear in ratio, what tire diameter, or what cam spec is a big one for picking out a torque converter. They've got a software program, you give them all your specs, they'll spit out exactly what you need for a converter. You can talk to them about shifts, shift quality, how hard it shifts, or maybe how relaxed for cruising. So they can put a kit especially together for what you want, the right style of cables maybe to match what you're building, and build a transmission to meet your horsepower targets as well as anything else you need, in the transmission department.
Okay, got the shifter cable about done there. Everything's in. Got our lines in, TV cable on the opposite side, cross members tightened, so I think we're about ready for drive shaft.
Yeah, so we've got our old drive shaft measured. It's about 3 inches shorter now going in with this longer transmission. We got all those dimensions over to Monster Transmission, and they're going to hook us up with a brand new drive shaft.
Yeah, cool thing is you can see right here, it's 3 inches longer. They knew that, so you just order straight from them. Shows up at your house, ready to go. So right now, we got to take a break. When we get back, we're going to put a posi in the back of this baby, so stay tuned.
Is there anything I can do to help the turbocharger from coking up with deposits? We'll have the answer after the break. Is there anything I can do to help the turbocharger from coking up with deposits? Turbochargers develop deposits from no oil flow cooling the parts after the engine is turned off. Z-Max's ability to soak into the metal keeps the surfaces lubricated and cooler, which helps to prevent damaging deposits from forming. Using Z-Max in your oil system will keep turbochargers better lubricated and running cooler. This tip is brought to you by Z-Max. Performance you can feel.
Hey, welcome back. We've made great progress on our transmission install from Monster. We've got the bottom end pretty much done. Got a little bit to do on the top end, but in the meantime, we're going to check out the situation on our differential. We've got an open differential here, and we're basically hopping around on one leg. We got 1 foot planted to get this car moving. So if you can see, this guy just basically has spider gears here. It's going to connect both sides together, and as I spin this around, it'll move both tires. But if I put a little bit of a load here, all I'm going to do is break that one tire loose and basically annihilate it, not getting us any forward speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this simple open diff and we're going to upgrade it to a limited slip. Now, there's a lot of different differentials out there. This one basically spider gears. This one's set up the same, but it's got a clutch pack in it. So you can see our clutch spring set up here, and hiding in here is our Kevlar woven clutch pack. Now those clutches are basically going to hold both sides of the shafts basically together, but if I've got to make a turn, my outer wheel spins faster than my inner wheel. Those clutches will slip just enough to let you make that turn nice and smoothly. Now we're going to be able to put all that power to the ground on both wheels. So stick around, we'll see you in the break room. I got emails coming in I can't even keep up with. Today's Ask the Host. You guys are drowning us and it's great. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. But today, Ed A, it's all about you. You've asked us, how do I get the plug wires off my 04 GMC Sierra V8? I've got a couple of the wires off, but I feel like I'm going to yank the wire out of the boot if my hand slips. There must be a trick, especially for the passenger side closest to the firewall. Well, Ed, there's actually 2 good tricks. The first tip, there's a nice tool for grabbing onto that boot so you don't pull the wire out. This guy right here will give you a lot of leverage, a lot of grip. Try to get it twisted if you can. Once you get it twisted, it should free. They have different shapes of these tools, so sometimes you can kind of leverage it off the manifold. And the next time you go put your boots on, put a little dielectric grease on the end of your spark plug. That'll lubricate it, keep the moisture out. The next time you go to pull your plug wires off, it'll be a piece of cake. So keep riding in the show. We'll keep answering your questions, and I'm going to get back to trying to get some good answers for you.
All right, welcome to the break room. Now what I love about the break room, you get to find new cool toys to save you time and money. Look at this sucker. This is the OK Spark spark plug sensor. What it does, you just put it right up to a plug, and you can make sure that not only is your spark plug getting fired, but also that you're getting juice, getting electricity from your coil. You put it up there. If you're getting spark, you can see it right there on the green side. Now, if you're on the red side, if you watch it run, then you can tell that you're getting electricity from your coil. So you just go through to each plug, hold it up there, and you can see, okay, that's a good plug. We're getting fire. Go to that one. You don't have to pull the plug, set it up against the engine. Very easy to use, saves you a lot of time and money diagnosing problems. It uses peer technology, which is basically like the old scope technology that people have used forever to diagnose with. Really neat product. Turn it on, works with any plug, ATV, motorcycle, anything with a spark plug. Really neat deal. OK Spark Plug Sensor. All right, next thing we have is the G-Floor covering that you roll out from Better Life Technologies. Obviously, this is a nice rollout material. You got cracks in your floor, you've got lifting, you've got a high traffic area, you've got some dirty, nasty stuff that you want to cover up. This is very easy, comes in wide sheets. You just roll it out, trim it to where you want. No adhesive is necessary. Now you can put adhesive on the corners if you want, or you can leave it as is. You can cut it into any shape. You can put it in trailers, you can put it in your RV, in the back of your truck. I mean, you can put this stuff anywhere, but it's great for high traffic areas, somewhere you're gonna have stains, you're gonna pour oil on, drop oil on a lot. Great to have around the shop. This is a really cool product from Better Life Technology, the G-Floor Rollout Garage Covering. Now, from Clean Breeze, we've got the sliding truck screen. We all have pickups, you got the sliding deal, stuff's always coming in, the dog wants to get out. This product is pretty cool because not only are you going to keep the bugs and the critters from going inside, but you're also going to keep the dogs and whatnot from going out. It's really strong. It's nylon covered fiberglass and it's ultrasonically welded around the outside, so it's really strong. Even they say that insurance will cover you if you leave your window open because this thing is so strong once it's put in. Now to put it in, all you do, take the included high quality 3M adhesive, put it around, install it, very easy. And they also have like 50 different screens. You can get different companies, American flag, all different kinds. So pick your own, customize, look on their sites, see what they have, get one for yourself. It's the Clean Breeze sliding truck screen. Next one we have is the ditch hitch. Now if you're the guy that's always pulling people out, you want to make sure that you're doing safe, and that's what the ditch hitch is all about. This thing's been tested to 69,000 pounds. Now they're rated at 14, but you know, this thing is not going anywhere. You pull off this, it's made out of aluminum, so it's really light. It comes with the tow strap. So you put the strap on, put in your pin, into your hitch. Now you can tow somebody over here, it swivels, you can tow someone over there. Much more safe than a chain. There are chains that break, and if you're someone that's pulling people, this is something you need. Very good for recovery. Anyone doing any pulling, you need one of these. Comes in a nice bag, comes also with a tow strap, so it's ready to go. Just keep the bag in your truck, and you're ready to help your buddies, pull out your friends. Very nice, safe product from Ditch Hitch. So send in your videos, send in your pictures, check out our website. We'll show you some funny videos of this thing in action.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit TwoGuysGarage.com.
Hey, welcome back. We got the last finishing touches on our kit from Monster for this transmission install. We got a couple brackets we've added. We've got this chromy cool deal in the back here. It's going to be our throttle bracket and our TV cable bracket. Now we've got an adapter on the throttle leverage arm. Now that's going to allow you to add the TV cable down in the right spot. So the first thing we're going to do, we can go ahead and clamp on our throttle cable. Now we've got to adjust the TV cable. If you don't adjust your TV cable on a 700R4, you could burn up a brand new transmission. That's always bad. So a way to do that, we've got our cable mounted here. We're going to pull the slack just, barely tight. We're going to take our little barrel, tighten it down. Now we've got our initial setup. You're going to get in the car, do a full throttle, while you're sitting here. And that should get you your basic first settings. Now you can go for a drive. And on that drive, you can see if you want the shifts to be a little bit harder, a little bit softer, a little bit later. If you need a little bit harder later shifts, pull the tension on the cable. It's self-adjusting. Should be good to go. A little bit softer, let some of that tension out.
Yeah, that's all in the instructions. Monster gives you nice, easy instructions, shows you how to put it all in, step by step, very simple. And looking forward to that.
Instructions on your job?
I'm looking forward to that drive, man. That's the part we're getting to. We're getting close. But next thing we've got is, this is their dipstick. They send this with all their transmissions. And it's kind of like a wine stopper where you pull it and it's going to expand into the tube. Most of these you stick them in, they can kind of work themselves loose with some pressure. This one's going to hold itself in nice. That's kind of a nice little feature that they send it with.
Yeah, and the last thing we're going to do, late 70s, early 80s, they started coming out with lockup converters. A torque converter will lock up because otherwise it's a fluid coupler. You're losing a lot of energy and fuel economy. By locking it up, you're going to get better fuel. You're going to drop your RPMs down a little bit. There's already an automatic pressure switch. It'll engage the torque converter lock up and disengage it at the right time.
Sometimes you get it like 45 and they're like, You know,
Yeah, you can get it to dither. So if you're cruising at the right speed, this thing will be in and out of lockups. Not fun. So they've got a little extra kill switch, basically to unlock that converter, give you control for if you get in one of those situations. So that's the last thing we've got to do, basically on this part of the.
Cool. So now we got this all wrapped up, and we got a few more details. We've got the engine, we got all the powertrain. Now we got some details on the bench to finish this thing around.
So wrap that up.
All right, Bird, about got this thing licked. Now, kind of the last thing left on our monster transmission install, getting it switched over to where the glass has a nice OD on there.
Gotta have the ODs.
That's right.
This has been a great project. Now, a lot of these 60s and 70s muscle cars are taking a huge comeback.
Explosion is more like it.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting, but it's a real bum deal when you got to go searching every junkyard, searching the internet, going from store to store to find what you need. Now, these warehouses are great. They sell basically everything you need for a one-stop shop. Now, Osley Chevelle, they deal specifically in El Caminos and Chevelles. So if you give them a shout, they've got all the tech guys there for whether you need a single part or you're restoring your whole car.
Yeah, a lot of people, they deal in a lot of different cars, a lot of different makes. These guys, they've got huge experience, only Chevelles, El Caminos. That way you know, they know exactly what you're dealing with. They know the nuts, they know the bolts, they know the parts. And so when you call them, you're gonna get what you want. Most everything ships 24 to 48 hours, so you're gonna get it quick. And man, they've got just all kinds of stuff.
Oh, lots of neat stuff like vintage radio, but you know, modern features like remote control. You know, we got our diff for the rear end there, all of our windowsills. Basically hooked us up with everything we needed and it was easy.
Oh yeah, we've got emblems, body panels, interior. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You know, you can make your own belt buckle. There's just all kinds of cool stuff that you can get. So if you need something for a Chevelle, El Camino, obviously pick up the phone, give Osley a call. And this stuff is so fun because just like doing this, 4 bolts, a little bit of spray paint, a little bit of cleaning, and you know, you can take one of these old muscle cars and really have a blast with it. So I think this thing was really cool. I can't wait to get this sucker out and go run it. And but we're out of time. So see you next time on Two Guys Garage.